It's Friday, folks. You know what that means. It's time for Classic Tabletop RPG Friday. We're going to slide right back into Dark Conspiracy, and it's the beginning of the end. It is combat time. Last week, it's kind of a preface, kind of an intro into combat, but this is where we're going to start to get into it, because today we're going to be talking about Dark Conspiracy's combat turn. So how all of that is laid out, what the protocol is on how you run a combat turn. We're going to look at a couple extra things that happen. We're going to look at the basics of a combat turn, break it down, the things that you can do within a combat turn. And then, like I said, we got a couple little extras there on the end. Now, if you are enjoying this series and you want to go and grab yourself a copy of Dark Conspiracy, down in the description below, there are links. It is full of links for you to go and grab the core game and all the little goodies that go with it. And also, as always, at the end, we've got the question of the vid. Make sure you stay until the end to answer that question and get some engagement going on this video, y'all. That is what we want. So let's get started with this. The combat turn in Dark Conspiracy. Hit that transition. The combat turn in Dark Conspiracy is broken down into 6 phases. So the length of a combat turn is 30 seconds. So these 6 phases are each 5 seconds long. So, you know, in some tabletop RPGs, the whole combat round is 5 or 6 seconds. But in Dark Conspiracy, it's way long. I mean, 30 seconds is forever. But how they break down these phases and what the phase protocol is, which we'll go over in a second, like I said, it's unique. But first, let's go over what you can do in a combat phase, okay? Make sure you separate the two as I'm talking about this, right? There's the combat turn and the combat phase. I'm going to be talking about phases more than the turn itself, but differentiate the two. Phase, 5 seconds. Turn, 30 seconds. There are 9 actions that you can do on a combat phase. So let's just go through them really quick. So the first is you can fire a ranged weapon, or you can throw a weapon like a grenade or a knife or something like that. You can aim at a particular area or at a particular target to get yourself a bonus in the next phase where you are going to fire. You can reload your weapon. So if you got bow and arrow, or if you got that magazine that's just run out, or your 6-shooter has just emptied, then you can take a phase to reload the weapon. You could do a melee attack. Very simple. So either a melee or ranged attack, that's normal. You can ready or change a weapon or object. So let's say, for example, you can holster your gun and pull out a knife, or you can holster your gun and pull out a communication device or tablet or tech device or something like that. Or you can draw your weapon, because that's readying a weapon. So you can do a combination of any of those things that I just mentioned there. You can also stand up or get back down. Now, obviously, getting down to the ground is probably going to be the faster of the two, but they're just trying to make it simple for you. So you can go prone or you can stand up. As I said in the previous video, you can move. And so you can do one of those 4 movements. You can crawl, walk, trot, or jog, and run. You can mount or dismount. And what that means is, it actually means from a burden animal like a horse or donkey or camel or something like that. Yes, you can do that, but it also includes vehicles and getting in and out of them, or getting on a motorcycle or something like that. So that would be a mount or a dismount. You could do that in a phase. The last one is just, maybe you just want to talk. Maybe you want to throw out some warning or throw out some direction or code or distraction or something like that. You can do that. So those are the 9 things that you can do in a combat round in Dark Conspiracy. Now, let's get down to brass tacks when it comes to initiative. Now, initiative is something that you figure out during character creation. That's what we did with Marcus Camden when I made him. So if you haven't seen that video, link for it is down in the description. So once you have your initiative and you're in a combat round, then things get broken down, as I said, by phases. Your initiative is the phase which you will take your action. So it's equal to whatever phase number that your initiative is. So for Marcus, he's going to go in phase 1. Here's the thing though, y'all. It counts down from 6 to 1 in phases. So basically, the high initiative that you can have is 6. That's some high initiative, y'all. There are people out there who might be blessed by Providence to get a 6. All right, well, you get a 6. That means that in phase 6, which goes first, you will get to go and do an action. Now, in the next phase, which is phase 5, because remember, it counts down, those who have an initiative of 5 or equal to 5, they will go first. And then 6 will be able to go again. Then we go to 4, 4 will go first, 5 will go, and then 6 will go, and on and on and on, as you can see here. So Marcus is not going to go into the very last phase, right? But that's to be expected when you're starting off with your character. You can, through experience, increase your initiative. And so if you want to be a little bit better at combat, and Marcus does want to be a little bit better at combat, do a couple more things, come on now, then you may want to focus on the outset at raising your initiative. So we got a couple extras that are added to the combat round. So let's say you have an NPC and a PC who have the same initiative. Who's going to go first? Good question. If it's 2 PCs, you guys can just decide that. But if it's this situation, then it's the one with the higher agility. However, that is going to be adjusted for the bulk of whatever weapon that they may have. Let's say, for example, you got my boy Marcus Camden here, and he has an agility of 7. Remember when I made him, I made that kind of high. And he has a Desert Eagle. That is what I gave him in terms of equipment. This has a bulk of 1, which is weird. Isn't a Desert Eagle, I know it's a 44, but I thought it was like a 50 cal too. I'm almost positive that a Desert Eagle is a 50 cal, but maybe this is one of the older versions, whatever. So let's just go with the 44 version. He's got a 44 mag version, but no matter what, it has a bulk of 1. So that would be subtracted from his agility. So now his agility goes from 7 to 6. And let's say he's going against somebody and they have an agility of 4, right? And they're trying to swing something at him, or maybe throw something at him, right? They would take the bulk of whatever they're trying to throw. Maybe it was a knife, maybe it's a grenade or something like that. He's going to go first because their agility is, number 1, too low. And he's going to get to pop out a shot and hit them before they get a chance to throw whatever it is that they want to throw. So that's how you would figure that out. The next extra is repetition. So if you're going to be doing the same action from one phase to the next phase to the next phase, then this is where you will usurp the actual order of actions. So if somebody doing a repetitive action is actually going to go first in that phase. So for example, let's say you got a character, they have an initiative of 3, and they're just going to pop off 3 shots for every phase, right? So phase 3, they pop off a shot. Phase 2, they're going to pop off a shot first before the person who has an initiative of 2 goes. They're going to go first because it's a repetitive action. Same thing in phase 1. That's how that goes. If you want to do something really quick and get the first shot off, that's how you would do it, by doing a repetitive action. Opportunity fire is a special situation when a character is aiming at a particular area and a target moves within their line of sight. Then they can go ahead and take the shot, even if it is on a phase where they normally would not take their shot. So let me give you an example. Let's say Marcus here, he's got his Desert Eagle. he got it pointed at a particular area because he can hear somebody coming around the corner, or he was running and then he, turns around and just stands there to aim. All right. So he's aiming at a particular area. He's waiting. Phase 3 comes around. The target moves into line of sight. Now, normally he would not be able to do something on phase 3, but since he was aiming, he would be able to take the shot on phase 3. Now, on phase 1, he wouldn't be able to do anything because he already did what he was going to do, because he can only do one thing in that round. Now, he'll be able to do something else in the next turn, like whatever other action. But if he wants to take an opportunity fire shot, he's going to have to aim it again in order for him to do that. That's how opportunity fire works, and that's one way to act before whatever phase that you normally take your action in. And sometimes that may happen later. If it happens in phase 2 and you went in phase 3, you could just hold off until phase 2 to take the shot for opportunity fire. The last special situation is an ambush. Now, when it comes to an ambush, you only have a couple things to remember. First is that if somebody has an initiative of 6 that you are trying to ambush, they're going to be able to take their actions normally, which means, yeah, you're not going to be able to ambush them unless you've got a 6 and you've got a higher agility than they do. They're just that good. Otherwise, for one round, everyone who is on the side that is the target group, they are just going to be doing repetitive actions of whatever it is that they're doing. So if they're just meandering around, if they're moving, they're just going to be doing that. You will have to break it down into a combat round, and you will have to move them in the combat phases where they move to do whatever repetitive action that they're doing. Then those who are ambushing can take their shots whenever they want to take their shots that's equal to their initiative. Some people might even take opportunity fire because somebody moves in line of sight. However that happens, but it's only for one turn, and it's going to be by surprise unless, like I said, you're attacking somebody with an initiative of 6. They're going to be able to act normally. So they'll probably be able to get off a shot on you before you get off a shot on them. That's just how good an initiative of 6 is. Yeah, I know it might be getting a little crunchy even before we really get into the combat, but really, it's really not that difficult. The combat round is not that difficult. The opportunity fire stuff and all the rest of that, really, once you get into it, trust me, it's not as crunchy as you think. It sounds that way, but it really isn't. Hey, if you got any value out of this video today, could you do a brother a solid? And could you just tap that like button? Tap that like button. Also, if you want to stick around, I come out with videos every Tuesday and Friday, God willing. And you can hang out here with the Elite Nation by just hitting that subscribe button and that notification bell. Okay, folks, well, let's do it. And let's get to the question of the vid. So you've played some games in your tabletop RPG journey, right? So what combat turn mechanic do you like in a game that is non-fantasy? Oh, yeah. I'm going to have you get specific. So think of a game that you have played that is not fantasy, where you liked the combat turn mechanic. You liked how the combat turn went down. Go ahead and let us know what that game is down in the comments below. And if you don't have a game that's non-fantasy, oh well, you can't engage, you can't engage because this channel is about non-fantasy alternative genre tabletop RPGs. That's how we roll here. Y'all should know that. Nah, me? All right, y'all. Again, let's get it going. Engagement down in the comments below. And don't forget it. If you do like this, it's sounding like something that's a little cool. Again, links are down in the description. That is it, y'all. That's all I got. That means I got to get out of here and do my snaggle puss.
So exit, stage left.
Hey, if you got a game this weekend, y'all, happy gaming. I pray it is an RPG Elite session that is more enjoyable, immersive, and meaningful. So until next time, God willing, it's me. It's your boy, Servant, saying peace, 5,000 leets. That's right. I'm gone.